if you guys remember the other day, I shared a clip of Tucker Carlson talking about how Iran was actually the good guy in the region. And he was the one that, that Iran's the one that was supporting Gazans and looking out for the Palestinians, and everybody recognized them as this moral force. Well, he's not the only one saying this. We have this Sneeko guy who I don't follow Sneeko, but he's got a massive following. And he's out there now saying Iran's the only nation fighting for the oppressed in Lebanon and Palestine. And you want us to believe they're the enemy? Really, the same day Tucker says it, the same day. I'm telling you, it's pretty clear these guys are all coordinated and getting paid by the same people. It's absolutely wild. And one of the new things they're trying to push is that Graham Plattner needs to win. Wait, what? This is the most disgusting man who's been a candidate for a major political party in a long time. And the Democrats, they need the Senate. They're desperate to win the midterms. So they're going to, they don't care about Epstein anymore, any of this. They're going to platform Plattner. Well, we have all these now America First types, including Tucker Carlson's own brother, now trying to make Graham look better. Look at this.
Early prayers this morning was that the excellent voters of South Carolina will reject Lindsey Graham in this primary today and vote for Mark Lynch. And
well, that didn't happen. Lynch lost by 30 points. How about those grifter nominations? You guys are doing great. You guys are doing real well.
We'll see. I've seen some encouraging numbers. It's kind of hard.
I hope you're right. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen with Graham Plattner from Maine, the state you have?
I think it seems inevitable he's going to be in.
He's going to beat Susan Collins.
Yeah. It seems like.
I mean, obviously today's just a primary, but the general's coming up in November.
And how will that affect the GOP caucus? I wonder, because she's such a reliable conservative.
I mean, I know you've been talking a lot about the uniparty lately, and you have a decent point. It's like, how will any of this affect any of our lives in any material way?
When 88% of the country wants, transparency in elections, they want safe elections, and they've just given up on that. I guess now they have given up on it completely. It's dead. The SAVE Act will not be revived. That's what I understand.
Yeah, no, it's dead.
But yet, on a voice vote, they can basically confirm that our military and Israel's military should be merged.
Yeah, that we're now. There's some sort of merge.
Just great, interesting. Just like they might as well just be making out. They're just agreeing on everything, like, softball questions. Graham Plattner, he'll take out that rhino Susan Collins, so that's ultimately a good thing. As Laura Loomer is like saying, oh, now it won't be long before Graham Plattner's on Tucker's podcast any day now. Well, as far as we know, he hasn't been on Tucker's podcast yet, but Tucker did come out and had some nice things to say about him. Tucker, answering this New York Times question, you're in Maine. Graham Plattner is a Democrat vying to be senator. Is that someone whose ideas you're interested in? And Tucker, I certainly appreciate his foreign policy views. And I appreciate, the trick to doing Tucker's voice is do Mickey Mouse, but just a little lower octave, slightly lower, not that lower. And it's like Mickey Mouse, but full of condescension instead of joy. And condescension and arrogance instead of joy. And I'm working on it. But this is we're getting close. I'm getting closer to Tucker, but it's very close. Mickey Mouse with arrogance and condescension and just a slightly lower octave. That's Tucker's voice. I certainly appreciate his foreign policy views. I appreciate how different they are from everybody else in his party. I haven't met him. I plan to meet him. I don't know a lot about his other views. Yeah, you don't. Let's just put the Nazi on. And I can just see it right now. Tucker listening to him and be like, well, these allegations of you assaulting women, and Plattner being like, yeah, I was PTSD is terrible, but I'm past that now. I'm a better person. And Tucker being like, oh, right. Who cares if you abuse somebody when you're PTSD? That's what we're going to get from Tucker here soon. But you can see they're pushing it really hard here and trying to get this done. But it's just crazy to me that now, the Plattner thing, this guy, they really want him in. City of London is really trying to get him in, because the fact that they're pushing him to Carl Tucker and everything is just insane. And while Tucker's pushing Graham Plattner and like starting to open up that door. Well, he's going after Dan Bongino. So Mario Nafal, who's massive on X, has like over 3 million people watching. You know, he's got he got called out by Elon the other day because he just reposts stuff. He's a total grifter. Okay. He comes across like tries to be serious. He's built a business on X, but he's really just repurposing other people's content. But because of this, he gets to interview people like Tucker Carlson. And this guy is just totally like, there's something about him that's just deep state all the way, because he'll play both sides of the aisle. And then he always tries to take down Trump with stuff. But so he had Tucker on. And anyways, there's a whole new narrative Tucker's trying to push with the Butler assassination and taking down Bongino. Listen to this.
I know that about Butler. I know that Trump shut down the investigation into Butler. That is a fact. Dan Bongino told me that when he worked at the FBI. And Dan Bongino himself was terrified when I spoke to him in December. It's such a long, boring story, but basically I came into possession, I beg your pardon, accidentally came into possession of a lot of the social media posts that we were told didn't exist, that were posted by Thomas Crooks in the months and years before the shooting. And I was amazed that the FBI had lied about this. So I called Kash Patel, and I later called Dan Bongino, and I says, what is this? I'm not attacking you. It was the previous FBI administration that did this. It was Chris Wray, but what is this? And Dan Bongino became hysterical with me on the phone. I've known Dan a long time, for many years, and always got him along with it.
Does anybody actually believe that he talked to Dan Bongino, brought this up, and Bongino just lit him up? I find that a little hard to believe, but
whatever his faults, nice guy, certainly very nice to me. I never had a problem with Dan ever. And that problem began when I brought this information to his attention, and he became a different person. He was clearly terrified. I didn't get it at first, but he was hysterical. And ultimately, after a long series of text exchanges, which I still have, and phone conversations, he said,
"If you got the text, can you show him, Tucker? This seems like something that needs receipts, right? Or are you just going to pull a Candace on us?"
Look, take it up with Trump. He's the one who shut down the investigation. And that was, I think, the first or second week of December. I think it was
You see what they're doing here? Trump shut down his own investigation into the guy who tried to kill him. I mean, if you believe that, I have some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you guys, and I'll give you a good price for it. But Bongino came out and had to just he just, we're not going to go through the 12 minutes. It's quite long, but he just rips Tucker to shreds after what Tucker just said, and it's entertaining.
I don't have any. He doesn't realize, like, I have these texts too. I never do this, but if you're going to refer to texts alleging we committed a crime, I'm going to put it out there. But first, let's address his 2 points. He says that the president shut down the Butler investigation. Totally, completely, 100% made up.
First of all, this is a lesson in body language, okay? Immediately, who seems more believable? Bongino, who's just directly speaking and quickly speaking, very assertive, very authoritative, or Tucker, who's just like, and I just just seems like to be going along on the way, like building up the story. He was hysterical. He was, who seems more truthful right there? This is a lesson in body language. And you have to learn these lessons in order to tell the grifters versus the non-grifters. True people telling the truth, go directly to the point. They go directly to the point, and then they build out from there. The grifters kind of dance around the point and tell you stories, and it's persuasion. They're all focused on persuasion. That's one of the differences. But Bongino is going right after it.
But we did a full interview with Brooke Singman from Fox, which, to all the people who, by the way, think Tucker's for real, if you think I'm doctoring any of this, please go look this article up yourself. Don't trust me, trust the evidence. Here it was, November 21st, even before Tucker says he spoke to me in December. Exclusive. FBI concludes Trump shooter Crooks acted alone after unprecedented global investigation. Now, he says the investigation was shut down. Yet here it is on the record in November. Again, the Tucker fans will apologize for him until the end of time because they just can't give up the Kool-Aid. Let me read this to you in case you're a Tucker fan who can't read. The case, that's the Crooks case, he says was shut down, currently sits in a pending inactive status. Wait, keep this up. Andy, does that say the case is closed? Andy's shaking his head. Jasmine, does that say that? It does not. No. It says the opposite. This is before Tucker claims he talked to me. But the official, this is one of the investigators, called the investigation one of the largest mobilizations of FBI resources in history that continued to this day. But keep this up, guys. Tucker just made a claim that he has text that I told him President Trump shut down the investigation. So we lied to Brooks Singman in November? If we get a credible lead, the FBI official said, we'll continue to investigate. I thought it was closed. The director has been very clear, that's Kash Patel, about leaving no stone left unturned, and that is what we are committed to. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's information, but it's evidence.
Yep.
It's not information pollution. That is actual evidence right there that everything he's telling you is just made up.
So, and you guys can quibble over whether like a news story is evidence, but it is evidence of the fact that it's a real quote and that they never said it was closed. And that's an official statement that has never been counteracted, anything like that. But the point is also that people constantly, do I think there's stuff that happened with Matthew Crooks? I'm sure there's weird stuff. Absolutely. But the problem is that, again, we live in a legal system with processes that take time and evidence, investigation, and proof to build up cases. And everybody who thinks like this can just be magically blown open immediately don't know what they're talking about. Continuing as investigation means continuing as investigation. And this is the kind of stuff that like we're gaslit to believe that these people that just, make millions of dollars telling us whatever they want to feed us, that they are the ones who are actually the true people of truth, that they know more about the people on the ground, that they know more about the people looking behind the scenes. And, you don't even have to love Bongino. You don't have to. But I can tell you something. He actually was there. He's trusted by all the right people and hated by all the wrong people. And for me, that's enough, because we are in an information war and all we get is crumbs. And when all you get is crumbs, you have to make your decisions based on trust and track record. And Bongino has a much better track record at this point than Tucker. And that's just a fact. So, I'm going to trust him on there. But speaking of track records, this one made me laugh so hard. I'm sorry, but Alex Jones has Robert Barnes on. And the funniest part is that anybody thinks anybody still believes Robert Barnes on anything. But Tucker has Robert Barnes on this explosive interview. So, guys, I got to tell you, I had Barnes on the other day, and oh, my God, what he told me was crazy. All right, so I got an exclusive with Barnes, and he tells me it's a painful analysis, all right? The first Trump admin was one of the cleanest in history. So Mike Pence, all the Wall Street guys, we had what's his face? Bill Barr. They're the cleanest, man. They're clean. None of them were corrupt at all. Cleanest in history. I'm telling you that right now. Okay. Just so you know. But the second admin is one of the most corrupt we've ever seen. The legendary looting of Ulysses Grant. They're globalists. I hate them. And we got to ask these questions. Why did Trump change so much from 8 years ago? And does this admin understand that Democrats currently set to win the midterms are going to have a field day coming after Trump is their circle because they're not even trying to hide the record level looting? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. This right here, I just like, oh my God. Okay. I don't say this often, or maybe I don't say this often enough. If you believe this first line here, you're clinically retarded. I'm sorry. It's just true. This is one of the, it's like, Alex isn't even trying anymore. This is getting so terrible. So bad. Here's like Fat Barnes, who, he's really gained weight. This guy just looks like a beluga whale now. It's getting bad for him. He must be panic eating and comfort eating after losing all that money from Thomas Massey. But I just like, this is so crazy. It's like, this alone is enough to like just no, you don't even have to watch the entire thing. There's nothing in this entire interview that's going to be real. Alex, the fact he's promoting it as if it's real is just so disgusting that I mean, we're at the point now where Alex just has no credibility whatsoever. This is insane. But Alex is really mad. He wants you guys to know he's really mad because people have been calling him out. And so, Alex, he gives an impassioned 13.5-minute speech, which we're definitely not going to watch. But you can trust my quote because he quotes himself. And he wants to tell you something. Bitch, you don't put your finger at 100%. Americana, Bonneville, real McCoy, tell me I work for the Russians. Chinese are the effing Muslims. F you. Alex Jones delivers a powerful message to Ben Shapiro and so-called Trump supporters who attacked him, Tucker Carlson, and others suggesting they're on poor payroll. You know what he didn't? You know what he didn't mention here, guys? Look at let's count this down. Russians. He's not working for the Russians. I'll say that. I don't think you're working for the Russians. Chinese. I don't think you're working for the Chinese, Alex. I don't know. Or the Muslims. I actually don't think you're working for the Muslims either, Alex. But I do think you're working for City of London. I think you're working for the deep state. I think you're working for the intelligence agencies, CIA, MI6, allegedly. I think you're working for that. The people you didn't mention, bitch. Oh my God. Isn't that interesting how that's who he didn't mention? I think that's hilarious. I think that's a great tell. Because he doesn't even want you to look at those ones. But, he doesn't work for the Russians, Chinese, or the effing Muslims. So there's that. There's that for you. So, but thanks, Alex, because this is kind of a, which one of these doesn't fit with the others. And you left out City of London. So I think I kind of know. You kind of let us in. So, but again, these people are like, you can tell they're panicking. You can tell like the grift is getting crazier and crazier. They're pushing weirder and weirder stories. They're really trying to get attention. They're really mad that their views are going down, and they just cannot believe they're losing all their supporters. They're losing all the so-called Trump supporters who attacked him and Tucker. But the other part is like, they're just not that smart. And here's one of the greatest examples I've seen of how stupid some of these people are. It just happened in this what do you call this? Round table they had, where on the left you have these America First, quote unquote, grifter types who are trying to destroy MAGA, including Owen Schroyer. And then on the right, you have these other people who are like just regular people trying to report the news, trying to like call out some of these people, and Brandon Strzok in the middle moderating. But this is 40 seconds of Owen Schroyer looking like the biggest moron you've ever seen.
They declared war on us when they took a bunch of American hostages.
Oh, sorry, I didn't set the stage. They're talking about when Iran attacked the embassy in the 80s and pulled out and captured and kidnapped a bunch of people in the American embassy in Iran and later tortured them and all that. Not soldiers, not just regular people in an embassy. Embassies are supposed to be peaceful for diplomatic reasons. And so this is setting the stage. They're fighting over this because Owen is saying, we have no business fighting Iran.
They declared war on us when they took a bunch of American hostages during the 1979
and bombed the barracks. Where did that happen? Where did that happen?
In Tehran. Who cares?
So we were in their country. Okay.
Do you not care about? Wait.
Everyone's in if an Iranian military installment was here and we took them.
It wasn't a military installment there, Owen. It was an embassy, moron.
Prisoner, would you accept that?
Are you stupid?
Would you like that?
It wasn't a military.
Are you stupid? This guy says. But Owen, he keeps pushing the point because you can kind of see it in his eyes. He kind of realizes, oh man, he's right. But instead of giving in, he just keeps pushing.
It wasn't a military. What are you talking?
So war in the Middle East ends up with our soldiers getting held hostage. Again, this is why I don't support it. I don't want our soldiers dying in the Middle East. I don't want our soldiers being held hostage in the Middle East. I don't want to spend more blood and treasure in the Middle East.
Was it a military barracks that they kidnapped over 40 Americans in 1970?
Yeah.
No, it was the embassy.
Okay, so what's your point?
You said it was a military barracks, that was an act of
No, you said that. I'm saying I don't want any troops in the Middle East.
I definitely didn't say that.
I said I don't want any troops in the Middle East. Do you want troops in the Middle East?
It was an embassy.
That's not true.
Do you want troops in the Middle East?
It was an embassy.
Oh, wait, you want troops in the war?
You see what happens when they're pushed? It's insane. It's insane. These people are absolutely stupid. And when you push them, all they do is start yelling louder. That's what they do. It's the craziest thing. So, but this is a good example of how stupid they are and how they keep lying and all this stuff. And so while they're all doing that, and so we got the Epstein push, we got the Graham Plattner push, we got Alex Jones trying to push it out there that the first Trump administration was wonderful and the second administration is corrupt. They're just every angle. They're all doing this at once. You guys notice this? It's all been this week in the last couple days. They are just pushing again. It's a whole new psyop, and we're going all out, multiple angles, all assets deployed, something. And they always do this when Trump is starting to win. When he announces the Iran war is over, when we get the new ODNI guy from SDNY, which is very important based on all the stuff that went on at SDNY, when we get Tulsi Gabbard dropping the biolab bombshell, all this happening in the same week, and yet we're also getting major psyops all coming out the same week, all the grifters joining at once, and then they're continuing with the Hunter Biden psyop. Hunter Biden out there declaring war on the Democratic establishment. You know why he's doing that? He's trying to make himself palatable for the future. They're testing the waters to see if Hunter, just like I talked about yesterday, if Hunter could actually be a candidate. This is the desperation of the deep state, of the dark side. They are the dark side, the Democrat establishment. And in fact, Hunter Biden's on Gavin Newsom's podcast now. And he had to say this.
I'm joined today by presidential candidate Hunter Biden, 2028. Come on, Hunter.
No.
You got more buzz out there than you got the president of the United States, Donald Trump, talking about your candidacy for president of the United States.
I had to give you a break for just one day at least.
They're actually
Here's the deal. I'll run, but only as your VP, because the truth of the matter is the vice president's residence is a lot cooler.
As your VP. You know what they're doing? They're testing the water. Just get that narrative out there, start seeing what happens. And, I got to tell you that with all this going on, with obviously what's going on with the Trump administration, what they're pushing, and all this craziness that all these grifter types are doing, and the way they're starting to push this nonsense on us. Remember, Candace, Sean Ryan, they all started the Hunter Biden resurgence. They're all in on it. This has been going on since Sean Ryan interviewed him, a year ago, 6 months ago, and then Candace gave him even a bigger platform. So they're trying to rehabilitate this guy's image. And now he's with the other presidential candidate, Gavin Newsom. So all this is happening. And at the same time, behind the scenes, we're starting to see some really interesting shifts. Now, all these people worked with General Flynn. And look at this. All on the same day. I resigned from America's Future PDPC board on May 9th. I stepped down from my position as advisor on the project, the PC board. As Digital Soldiers, I appreciate General Flynn. Liz Crokin, I want to put on the record publicly, I resigned from General Flynn's America's Future on June 8th. Why are they all resigning from General Flynn's projects, his operations? Well, could it be that they're starting to be investigated? State Department is reportedly opening investigation into Trita Parsi, considering possible deportation proceedings, according to the Free Press. This guy, Parsi, constantly on Bannon, or at least was recently. Many of the grifters go to his events. This guy is America First, MAGA. And now he's looking at deportation proceedings, foreign influence investigations. We have this starting to come out. In the coming weeks, there will be a lot of exposure of how the podcast alt-right has been actively coordinating with foreign actors to push anti-American influence operations. Direct evidence of this is about to come out. Iranian angle is actually least significant, but it needs to be exposed. As a reminder, officials close to the regime have admitted Parsi acted as an unregistered lobbyist for Tehran. He's been one of the main forces spreading pro-regime propaganda in the U.S. in coordination with elements of the far left and woke right. Parsi not only co-founded NIAC, but also the Quincy Institute, telling that people who pretend to care about foreign influence and even accuse Americans of dual loyalty are being dragged along by someone who isn't an American and works on behalf of a regime and regularly chants death to America. So we got the Qatari funding the connections that we talked about the other day. And now we're getting actual investigations. Candace Owens in Russia trying to say like, no, nothing going on here. Yeah, guys, I think what we're seeing is these people are going to be starting to get outed very soon. The Trump administration isn't putting up with it. And as usual, investigations start behind the scenes and then it comes to light. So Parsi might be the first one to go, which most of us don't watch him, but he's well respected and connected to all these people. And guys, isn't it interesting? Qatari money, Iranian money. Thomas Massey was getting funded by these people. Tucker Carlson got his initial boost from Qatar to start his own channel. I mean, I think a lot's coming out, and this is why we're seeing, amongst other reasons, why we're seeing the ramp up, but it's also why we're seeing panic like Alex Jones going nuts. I don't work for these people. No, we know, Alex. We know. You work for City of London. and I think it's all going to start being exposed here in the next couple months. So exciting stuff. Grifters, get in losers, we're losing, as the Trump meme said. And that's where we're headed.